Are having challenges creating your own templates for your reports? Do you want to know how most workforce and reporting analysts handle such amount of information from their data sources? My name is Ryan, and I will show you on how to use different Excel functions that will effectively help you creating your own Excel template. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell button for my latest updates. Good morning everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I will show you how to create an effective attendance file report. Stay tuned until the end of this video and learn how to different techniques and tips in Excel. In this video we will use Vlookup formula, combination of Vlookup and match formula. We will different kinds of formulas scenario using if function. You will also see how to insert additional field in pivot table and many more. And if you have workforce or call center related questions, please don't hesitate to comment down below and I will be more than happy to give you tips and advice in your project report. When creating a template, the first thing to do is to fill out your top row or your file header based on your work requirement. Once done, you can now start consolidating your active employee. In this scenario, we can get the active agents in our database. Open your database file. Go to Master List tab. Filter active status in column G. Copy the names, then go back to your absenteeism file and place it under name in column B. If you have not yet created your database file, you can click on the link in the description below to see how to create one. Since we already have a lookup value to search for employee ID, we can use Vlookup function to find the value and if error formula to make our table clean and more professional. I will create a dedicated video for Vlookup formula on my next video to give more specifics on its function. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for more updates. Going back to our report. For the parts of Vlookup, first is the lookup value, we will look for the name, second is the table array, and that is the database file, column index number, is the count of column from lookup value column, then 0 for exact match, because we used if error. We will put a quote and unquote at the end of the formula to make the value blank if there would be an error. Next on the list is the status. We will use data validation to make sure that the word will be counted once we use countif function. Select data validation on the settings tab under allow, select an option. Select list for the source. We can use the first row of column L to P. Click OK. Here would be the option for the status column. Now copy the formulated cell up to bottom. We will also use data validation function for the shift date column. Open the weekly schedule file, copy the date and paste it on another sheet of our project file. Follow the same process for data validation to have a drop-down option. After we are done in column A, next is the schedule. We will use a combination of Excel formulas to search for the agent's shift in weekly schedule file. We will combine Vlookup and match formula to search for the agent's sched based on the shift date. Start the formula with equals sign, enter the if error formula, then select Vlookup. The search value will be the name or cell B2. Go to weekly schedule. Highlight A to J. But instead of counting the number of columns, we will type match. The lookup value for match formula will be the cell A2 in the project file. Then comma, the table array will start from cell A2 to J2. Select exact match, put quote and unquote at the end of our formula to make the value blank if it is error. This function of Excel is almost the same with index match formula. So you can choose which one is perfect for you. Once you are done, let's check the formula if it is working. Select different dates in column A, and if the schedule will change, then it is working. Before we start with Shift Start column, we will create a time format sheet to serve as our lookup table for the schedule column. We can use the worksheet where we place the date used in column A. First, you need to replicate the format of time used in your weekly schedule file. Each shift should contain 9 hours as 1 hour is for lunch. Or you can adjust the shift duration based on the requirement of your scheduling team. The second and third column will be the breakdown of start and end time per shift. Once you are complete, we can start working with the formula needed for shift start column. We will use Vlookup formula to search for schedule start time. To compute for the minutes of late, we will create a scenario using if function. If cell F2 and G2 are greater than 0, then it will subtract the login time to shift start, then multiply by 1440. If not, it will return as 0. We will run some tests to see if the formula is working. We will manually enter a login time, then let's see if it will automatically computes for the minutes of late. As we can see, the return value is showing correct. Now we will proceed in another column. For supervisor and account columns, we can just search the information in the database using Vlookup function. While I'm doing the Vlookup process, if you have any suggestions or questions about this video, or if you are working on your project file, please don't forget to comment down below so I can give you more tips and tricks in Excel, especially in workforce-related templates. Almost done with the lookup. We will leave the comment column as blank, so we can just add a reason for absence once the agent called in sick or absent. We will use COUNTIF function for columns from L to P. So the scenario that we will create is to count if D2 is equals to L1. Then we will lock the formula by entering a $sign. Once locked, just drag the formula up to cell P2. To check if our formulas are working, we will run another test. We will select each word in the drop-down list in cell D2. And it's showing all are perfectly counted. We are almost done creating tab for our attendance file. For the login time, we can always get it from the tool that our agents are using to take in phone calls or chat. For this project I have created one to be our sample for this video. Always remember that when you are generating or extracting a report from a client tool or app, the first thing that you need to check is the ID or the username that you can use as indicator. Back to our project file, open a new worksheet, then copy and paste the raw data from the client tool. Let's change the name to raw data. Then from the attendance file, the lookup value with the employee ID, then we can use Vlookup formula. In this scenario the agent is expected to log in by 1:30 p.m., but the agent don't have a login time, so for the meantime we can tag the agent as absent. Last from our list is the expected column. To count for the scheduled agents we will create a scenario using COUNTIF formula. If cell F2 is more than 0, then we will count it as 1, that means it will not count if the value in F2 is a text or word. Once you are done typing the formula, let's try to change the shift date to see if the formula is working properly. The count on the expected should change to 0 once the agent's schedule shows day off. Since we are finished putting a formula in each cell in row 2, all we need to do now is copy the formula up to the bottom to make sure all employees' attendance will be counted. But before that we need to change cell A3 to make sure it will only copy the specific date in cell A2. To do that go to cell A3, start with the equal sign, then click A2, but before you press enter, put a $sign to lock the formula only to cell A2. After completing the formulas needed in column A, we can start copying all the formulated cells. We will do it with a double click instead of a drag. Go and highlight the cells that we need to copy, position the mouse in the lower right-hand corner of the cell until you see the plus and double click. This option can copy the formula down as far as Excel finds data to the left. Since we are done with the attendance tab, we will just add another tab to create a pivot summary. We will now create a summary for our report. Select the cells you want to create a pivot table from. Select Insert, Pivot Table. Under Choose the data that you want to analyze, select a table or range. In Table or Range, verify the cell range. Then select OK. Now we will arrange the pivot table based on how we want it to be presented. Shift Date to the filter area, Account and Supervisor to the rows area. For the values area we will first select Expected, change the field settings to Sum, then change the column name. Then do the same process for Present, Absent, Late and On Leave column. After adding the fields for the summary, we will tag the agent's status in Attendance File tab. Once done, go back to Summary tab, then click Refresh. Next we will add another column to compute the absenteeism rate. To add another field, click the pivot table on the Analyze tab. In the Calculations group, click Fields, Items and Sets, and then click Calculated Field. In the Formula box, enter the formula absences over expected. In the Name box, type absenteeism rate, then click OK. Now change the column format to percentage and average in field settings. To complete our summary tab, we will add another view for more explicit information for absences. Just copy and paste the pivot table. Remove the shift date and change it to status. Remove all the items in the values area. Add the employee's name and row area. Then filter only the absent. Also, we will add the comment. Now go to Design tab, Report Layout and click the Repeat All Item Labels. Then remove the subtotals. And here is our nice attendance report file.